This is Weather Authority Weekday.
Hey there, happy Friday. I am meteorologist Michelle McCormick, and welcome to the Weather Authority Weekday show. Yeah, wow, what a beautiful day. It is spring-like vibes out there today and through the weekend, especially on Sunday. We'll get to all of that, but first, we're going to do a full forecast for you on your local weather, what we can expect here in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia over the next several days, going into the middle of next week when we have really cold temperatures returning to our area. And then in the next half of the show, wow, we have a special guest that'll join us from our San Antonio station and talking about some of the winter preparations that they're doing with this ice storm and snowstorm that's coming to the eastern part of the United States. So we are going to have a great half hour here for you. But let's start at the airport right here, Jacksonville International Airport. So if you have any travel plans to areas such as Houston, Dallas, Nashville, Atlanta, all the way to Charlotte, even through DC, Baltimore, into the upper New England area, you're going to want to check ahead. I looked a little while ago, and I'll tell you what, I already saw 11 plus cancellations in Houston, over 100 cancellations at DFW in Dallas, Texas. A lot of those were Southwest, which flies out of left field also. So if you're on any major airline flying in or out of Jacksonville over the next several days, you're going to want to check ahead. A lot of airlines are doing waived cancellation fees, waived move fees. So definitely check ahead. But our airport's looking fine right now. We only had a few delays this morning, and they were to the Atlanta area. So that's maybe a little more now than we were seeing before. So currently, look at this, 66 degrees. What? Actually, it's funny. That should be our normal. That is our normal high for this time of year, for this day. That's our normal average temperature, and it's 66 degrees, and it is 11:02 in the morning. And I think we're going to warm up probably 10 more degrees today by the end of the day. We started out a little on the chilly side. It was in the mid 40s, upper 40s. We did have some dense fog across the area as well. But look at this beautiful site, Jacksonville Beach. There is a moderate rip current risk for all of our area beaches from the Golden Isles down to Flagler. Flagler County actually has a high rip current risk. So water is super dangerous, not the place you really want to be right now. But the water temperature is 58, so it's just cold anyway. But I mean, there's probably some bobbing heads out there. Those people, right, Caitlin? They'll go in the water, won't they?
With a wetsuit.
With a wetsuit. Thank you. Caitlin's a water baby. So yeah, it's chilly, but there's a runner. So you go, guy. All right, 65 degrees out here at the beach. See, look at them running. Northeast wind at 8. So yeah, beautiful conditions out at our beaches right now. But temperatures across the entire area, mid 60s for just about everyone. Upper 60s through McClenny, man, they were chilly this morning with some foggy conditions. Waycross at 67, all the way to 72 now in our southern areas of Alachua County and northern Flagler County. So the hourly forecast shaping up like this today will move into the upper 70s for some folks inland, mid 70s for just about everyone else. A sea breeze will kick in at some point today too. That'll move some of those clouds off of the beaches if they do develop. So here's a look at those area-wide temperatures by zone. And this is mid 60s to upper 60s at the beaches and mid 70s inland along the I-95 corridor. Southeast Georgia folks looking also for temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Waycross 74, Golden Isle staying in that mid to upper 60s range with that sea breeze. And then inland, wow, really 80? Yeah, Clay County, you can see it. You guys had some foggy conditions this morning as well. Keystone Heights, we're also looking at 80, looking at you, Lake Butler for mid 70s, Lake City mid 70s as well. So overall, look at the temperatures across the state. Pensacola at 68. So, you know, we are going to start to feel the tail ends of this system come through our area late Sunday, following some rainy conditions. Of course, I'm going to get to that in a little while. But for tonight, just enjoy the evening. Now, what's fun about that? I'm going to go back. All right, here we go. What's fun about this graphic is what it doesn't tell you is that sunset is at 5:55. So we are 5 minutes from crossing over into that 6 o'clock hour for that sunset, which means spring. We're going to spring forward soon, and we'll not be driving home from work perhaps or in our evening in the dark. So I know a lot of people like it when it stays lighter later. I am one of them. Caitlin, what are you? Are you a lighter later person?
Yeah, more daylight, the better.
Absolutely, 100%. But look at that. So 61 by 11 o'clock, and then temperatures pretty similar tomorrow morning to what we saw this morning. Not as many 40s as we saw this morning, so a little warmer going into your Saturday. So here's what's happening. We kind of go a little up and down here, so follow along with me for a second. 76 for our high today, 52 for our low tonight going into Saturday. Saturday, we're going to be at 65 as our high. Okay, so that's right where we should be for this time of year. So it's not cooler than today, although yes, it will be a little cooler than today, but it's right where we should be for this time of year. But what happens on Sunday is a warm front coming in with warmer weather, rainy conditions late Sunday, and it's all ahead of the cold front that's going to push through late Sunday with rain, isolated thunderstorms also possible, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain in some spots of southeast Georgia, and then trickling down into northeast Florida. But it's that Tuesday morning temperature that says 26. So we go from a high of 79, maybe even 80 degrees. The record high for Sunday is 83, set in 2023. 80 degrees, close to that on Sunday, barely making it out of the 50s on Monday. That's the impact that this winter storm is going to have on our area Sunday night into Monday morning. We're not going to have any freezing rain. We're not going to have any sleet. None of that is heading our way. Cold air will sink in on Monday. So once that rain moves out on Monday, we'll be clearing skies, giving the opportunity for that cold air to settle in. And that's where we're going to start to see, probably firing off this weekend, a freeze watch as early as Saturday, because it's going to give us a 36 to 48 hour heads up. Probably Sunday, maybe becoming a freeze warning, likely for, well, freeze watch, freeze warning for Tuesday morning. And then we're likely have another freeze warning going into Wednesday. Hard freezes inland, southeast Georgia, northeast Florida. So this is what we're building up to with this winter storm. We're building up to some very cold temperatures returning to our area beginning of next week, very similar to the setup that we had beginning of this week. So we can expect some freezy, frosty conditions again, beginning Tuesday morning. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to go, which should we decide to do? Video first or video first? All right, cool. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk to Elliot Wilson. He is a meteorologist with our sister station in San Antonio, Texas, and we talked about how Texas is preparing for this major winter ice storm coming through there. I grew up in Dallas. I know what a winter storm is like in Texas. It's brutal. They're not prepared to handle this. And we kind of talked about how it compares to tropical storm preparation and what we experience here and how there's a lot of similarities. So after the break, stick around and we're going to meet Elliot. All right, welcome back to the Weather Authority Weekday Show. Joining me now from our sister station in San Antonio, Elliot, thank you so much. Tell me what's going on there.
Yeah, so first off, thank you for having me. Always fun to talk with other meteorologists. You know, we're getting ready for some of that wintry weather that we usually see here in Texas, usually maybe once or twice a year, but always likes to sneak up on us or kind of give people in the area a little bit of a panic. So we're kind of preparing people, telling them what they need to know, and looking to see some freezing rain around the San Antonio area as we go throughout Saturday night with some impact Sunday morning.
Yeah, I grew up in Dallas. So spent many years there. We used to walk to elementary school, and when we had ice storms, I mean, it was like snow day.
Oh, yeah.
But it shut down the city. So tell me, historically in San Antonio, what's it like during a winter storm?
Well, for San Antonio, it's pretty similar to what you would see either in San Antonio, Central Texas, or sometimes even in the Dallas area. You know, people do get very nervous because in Texas, especially when we have winter weather events, snow is not as common. It's the ice. And that's just because of this warmer atmosphere we usually have above. And that's what causes the ice to form as it falls to the earth. So when ice is involved, that usually causes concern with a lot of people in general. So usually when it happens, people start asking lots of questions, emailing us, commenting on social media. So we always try our best to be, the calm before the storm. We're not going to hype anything up. We're not going to, ensue panic, but we do want you guys to be prepared. And we try to do that in a calm manner because every time this happens, people do get pretty nervous.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we see it here in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia too. Are your preparations for this similar to a summer tropical system?
I'd say so, definitely, because this is a very big weather event. Any type of weather event where you're going to be seeing impacts across an entire city, whether it's in tropical nature, or if you have a severe weather event or a winter weather event, you got to handle it the same way because people are going to want to know what's going on. They want to be prepared any way they can. Preparation is obviously different depending on the weather event, but the process is the same. You always want to keep people well informed, and you definitely want to do that in advance.
Yeah, for sure. So, what is the forecast for San Antonio over the next few days?
So it's going to be back and forth with temperatures. Like we actually got some decent weather today. Tomorrow we're actually going to be around the 70-degree mark right before the cold front moves in, and that's going to be moving in late Friday night. So it's going to be kind of an inversion, if you will, kind of reverse with those temperatures. We'll see our quote unquote high temperatures probably around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And then as that front keeps moving through, temperatures are going to keep dropping. And by late afternoon, early evening, San Antonio and the metro area will start dropping down to around the freezing level. With regards to the freezing rain, it's going to pop up first in the hill country, which for those that don't know is that area just north of San Antonio. So they're going to see the freezing rain first, and it's going to be a very gradual southward trend as we head throughout the afternoon. So for San Antonio in the downtown area, we're looking late afternoon, early evening when freezing rain could start to pop up across the area. And that'll continue as we go throughout the overnight. And then by about midday on Sunday, everything is going to be, the system will move out, but that cold is going to linger. Temperatures will get above freezing for a few hours, but then we're right back down to below freezing as we head into Monday morning. So that's always the tough part with these because you have the system move through, it dumps the rain, but that cold will linger, and that's where you can have some of those issues.
Yeah, I know historically too, power lines have the tendency to get weighted down and you could possibly lose power. How are you guys preparing the audience for situations like that?
So with the power outages and the power lines, we're not expecting, high accumulations of ice in the metro area. So I think in the metro area, the biggest concern will be the bridges and overpasses, especially because around San Antonio, we got two highways, two interstates that go around the city. So we always like to monitor those because this is, I kind of call it, I have a nickname. It's like the highway capital of the world almost because everything's a highway, and that's how you just able to get places faster. And obviously, when you have an event like this, that's going to be a cause for concern because you have a lot of overpasses. A lot of the highways are elevated. So you could definitely have some issues there. But with regards to power lines, we're looking more north for that. In the hill country, that's where that would be more possible just because there's going to be a little bit more of an ice accumulation up there. I think we're forecasting close to maybe half an inch
Oh,
of
goodness.
ice falling in some spots up there. So when you see the higher ice totals, that's where you can have the problems with the power lines. But in and around the metro area, it's mainly the roads that we're going to be concerned about, especially as we go throughout Sunday night or Saturday night into Sunday morning. Especially, people like to go to church. It's a big thing here in Texas on Sunday morning. So we're definitely going to be talking to viewers about that.
Yeah, we have a ton of bridges here in our Jacksonville area as well. And that's always one of the biggest concerns are the bridges during hurricane season. The biggest concern are where winds close the bridges down. In winter, when we have very cold days like we have coming up, we've had a few frosty, freezing mornings, but we haven't had a freezing rain event like you guys are expecting this weekend. So the bridges are a very big piece of our forecasting as well up here.
Definitely, yeah, and I can only imagine for hurricane season, which you guys are still kind of a ways away from that. But yeah, I mean, the bridges can be just a huge issue. And it's amazing how quickly it changes, whether it's winds or you're talking about freezing rain, and you have these roadways, like they may be okay in the moment, but the second you get on that bridge, it completely changes. And that's something we're going to be talking a lot about to the viewers. And, they probably hear about that every year, but it's always good to reiterate because it's so fast to change. I mean, you can have a roadway temperature of 38, 40 degrees. The second you get on overpass or a bridge, the road temperature may drop down to 30 or even in the 20s.
Yeah,
so we always got to
exactly.
be prepared for that.
So many thank yous to Elliot Wilson from our sister station, KSAT in San Antonio. But now, let Caitlin pull up this map that I have up now. This is the countrywide temperature map. So San Antonio in Texas, they're right in the central part of Texas, 63 degrees today. So on the morning show tomorrow, I'm going to show what the temperatures are across the states. But in the northern part, if you go all the way up to Minneapolis, these are Fahrenheit temperatures. It is negative 17 degrees right now in Minneapolis. Their high today is expected to be negative 9. That's brutally cold, dangerously cold. It's negative 13 in Pierre, negative 6 in Billings, 1 in Cheyenne, negative 6 in Omaha, 12 in Wichita, 7 in St. Louis, negative 9 in Chicago. Add in a wind chill along Lake Michigan, and that is just brutal. I don't even think they have school in temperatures like that. I can't say, but 1 degree right now in Detroit. So the line dropping all the way through to Oklahoma City eventually will make its way down into Texas, Arkansas, and we'll see these temperatures take a big old dive over the next several days. So really starting to make an impact. This weather is making an impact. It's going to be affecting up to maybe 200 million people in the US will be affected by this storm. So crazy. So now I want to show you what it looks like right here. This is a current map of all the alerts and warnings that are watches and warnings that are in place. So where Houston is on there, that kind of greenish color, that's a winter storm watch. Okay. So then if you go into the pink areas here like Dallas, that's a winter storm warning, which means imminent winter storm coming their way within the next 12 to 24 hours. Now, down here, Corpus Christi is in an extreme cold warning. That means temperatures that are dangerous will be affecting them. So that's Texas, right? So let's move into Mississippi. Ice storm warnings here through Mississippi. And then this purple winter weather advisory, North Alabama. And then let's move into then areas closer to home here. This winter storm watch is in Jefferson County, Georgia. So I wanted to show you this one because it's the closest one to us. And we go, as far as our viewing area is concerned, we go as far as Ware, Brantley, Pierce, Glenn counties of Georgia, of southeast Georgia. Beyond that, you move into a different market, Savannah, for example. In Savannah, that's Interstate 16 from Savannah over to Macon. If you're familiar with this area, and you folks in southeast Georgia, you are. We've all driven that road if you've driven up to maybe Atlanta sometimes or come through from Nashville, whatever it may be, that's Interstate 16, just north. And so this is the furthest south in Georgia that the winter storm watch extends to. So I just kind of wanted to give you a little perspective that, yeah, we're expecting rain on a little bit of rain on Saturday and on Sunday, but freezing rain isn't in our forecast. We're going to be way too warm on Sunday going into Monday for any wintry weather to come our way. However, areas north of Savannah and areas west and near Macon and Athens, and you get into those areas up here near Charlotte and Florence and Columbia, South Carolina, now we are in ice storm warning territory. And we watched several of our JEA utility trucks start their drive to Myrtle Beach this morning on the morning show, and we'll probably see it again here coming up at noon. But what I think this area of Myrtle Beach is, while they're not under any watches or warnings specifically, I think that's going to be like a holding zone, if you will. That's where they're going to stage them So if they have to deploy them, they are all together in one place that's not really affected by this storm. It's going to be cold up there, no doubt. But I think since they're not under watches and warnings, that seems like a pretty safe place to go help assist South Carolina and North Carolina from there. So we'll have to monitor that over the next several days. And then again, I wanted to point out the ice storm warning here, this dark pink, Tupelo, Mississippi. So these areas are very not used to a storm system like this. This is going to be the storm of the year. I can pretty much guarantee that, where so many people, 200 million people affected by this, from all the way to the border of Canada, all the way down to the border of Mexico, and then all the way out to the Atlantic coast. So quite a large area. So here's another look at the international airport. I really just wanted to say, make sure you connect with the airport if you do have any travel plans. 66 degrees. But another one, I'm going to go through the beach real quick. I wanted to get to a different graphic, and I'm not finding it. But wait a minute. Hold on, Caitlin. I want to get to this other graphic that shows the storm in action. How much time do we have? Are we good on time? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep talking, but here, these are our current temperatures across the area. But I really wanted to show you what it looks like on the radar and how we are managing this for the weekend. Maybe this one will help. Maybe this one will help us show it. I don't think so. Oh, man. Anyway, tune in at noon. How about that? Caitlin, come back full screen to me. All right. Tune in at noon, and I'm going to give you a full look at the forecast of this storm system, this low pressure system that's coming out of the Gulf and moving in through Texas, and it's going to combine with the cold air, and we're going to show you that coming up at noon. But thanks again for watching the Weather Authority Weekday Show. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you make it a great day.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.